that there was no chemical attack, just a standard attack using standard warheads and not very many injuries at that. But now let's go back to CBS for the very latest on this situation.
Dan Rather, CBS News in New York, as we continue to let roll the first pictures shown in the United States of the Scud missile attack tonight on the Tel Aviv area of Israel. Other sections of Israel were hit by the Iraqi missiles, including at least a couple up in the Haifa area. A total all over Israel of 8 to 10. 3 to 5 of the missiles hit in the Tel Aviv area. Here's the crater caused by the conventional warhead on this particular Scud. The Scuds can be equipped with a lot of different warheads. General George Christ just pointing out to us here in the studio that from the look of this damage, part of Saddam Hussein's message may be that he has a somewhat larger conventional warhead on these Scud missiles than was otherwise widely believed. And if the Iraqis go after Saudi Arabia, in Saudi Arabia, the Saudis have Chinese ballistic missile with a megaton warhead to fire back. Now, all of that we were told by Leslie Stahl at the White House not long ago, as we continue to look at this damage in Tel Aviv caused by the Scuds, that some Scud missiles had been fired at Saudi Arabia. The U.S. Defense Department had confirmed that. Where they were fired and where they hit and what damage they did in Saudi Arabia remains unclear at this hour. Now, as we continue to look at these photographs, first pictures in from Israel of the damage there tonight, keep in mind that the casualty total is said to be very low. The first reports are not even many people were wounded by this. You may want to note that the sirens had sounded in Tel Aviv before the Scuds went off, and that may account for the what is now an amazingly low casualty figure when you look at how much damage was wrought by this one single Scud hit in this particular Tel Aviv's neighborhood. In other late Gulf War headlines tonight, a confirmed 7 Iraqi Scud missiles hit Israel, possibly as many as 10. Israel denies that retaliation is actually in progress at the moment. They may have scrambled in the direction of Iraq intending to retaliate, but as of the moment, the Israelis say they are not retaliating. President Bush is described as, quote, outraged. Allied warplanes continue to hit Iraqi positions inside Kuwait and inside Iraq. That includes B-52 strikes. A late announcement from the Pentagon confirming that Iraqi Scud missiles have been fired into both Israel and Saudi Arabia. Now, practically nothing is known about the Scud missiles fired into Saudi Arabia. General Christ was just noting for us that the Saudis have some Chinese missiles with which they could retaliate if they chose to do so. The White House says now that President Bush is, quote, outraged. President Bush is known to have met tonight, I shouldn't say no, reported to have met tonight with Secretary of State Baker and has been in touch with the Israeli representatives in Washington and also representatives of some of the Arab allies, including the Egyptians. No confirmation that the missile or missiles fired into Saudi Arabia even hit anything. We're continuing to check. All the Defense Department has said is that, yes, some Scuds were fired at Saudi Arabia tonight. This is in addition and separate apart from the Scuds that hit Israel. We do know what happened to the missiles aimed at Israel. At least we know a few things. Israeli radio says 7 people were what it describes as slightly hurt in tonight's missile attacks, which dramatically alter the boundaries